For most of us, when the new year comes, we want to have a completely new and fresh beginning. And that will usually entail some serious decluttering and organizing, especially with all of the chaos and the busyness of the season. We are looking for a fresh start. So in today's video, I will be sharing this clip with you. I came to my sister-in-law's house and we decided to tackle my niece's room. It is a shared bedroom and they are growing to a point where they're really not quite into the cutesy stuff anymore and they want to go for a more boho chic look. But with all of the stuff in here, everyone feels utterly paralyzed and overwhelmed. So this is a great time for me to come in here and be of service to people I love and also share this very relatable and honestly real content with you all. I feel like most of us think that we're doing something wrong if we don't have a Pinterest perfect or Instagram worthy spaces. But the reality is what you're seeing here is normal and it's not a bad thing. This is what happens when life takes place. So in today's video, we are going to be doing an entire declutter of this room. I'm also going to be organizing the space as much as possible, getting it ready for my sister-in-law to come in the following weekend and paint. Then I will start to decorate it. I had hoped to be able to show you the footage of me decorating it, but if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that my car was stolen and driven under the bridge to a river. So I will discuss that more if you did not hear about it, but I won't go over it too much because I know I shared a lot of it on Instagram. But moral of the story, I was not able to get over here like I had anticipated, so I wanted to go ahead and get this decluttering and organizing video out, and then I will follow up with some really inspirational and motivational, most of all realistic, shared room makeover. When you are feeling overwhelmed by the space that you need to do, and I will usually say do a drawer, a closet, something like that. You don't want to take on too much if you're in that state of overwhelm, but if you have a task that has to get done like this room did before she painted, it is really great if you could have somebody come over and kind of just get the process started. It works out great. That's why these videos do so well, because you can turn on these videos. There's so many amazing content creators on here that will motivate you and get you ready to really get things done. So for me, I also felt like I did not know where to begin. So the first thing I decided to do was go under the dresser. Pulled everything out, every single thing, and the majority of it was trash. So that made me feel really good, and it instantly made this little section of the room feel cleared out. That gives me the motivation to keep on going. If you wait around for motivation to hit for you to get started on things, you'll be waiting a really long time because we cannot rely on that. However, if you can get up and get moving, that momentum of your movement will create the motivation that you need to make change. So I just made that up and that was really good. I don't even know if I'll ever be able to repeat that. The momentum of the movement will give you the motivation to make change. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna have to write that one down somewhere. So tackled underneath. Now I'm gonna go to the top and then next to the dressers. Taking the items off of the wall will also help the room not feel quite so claustrophobic feeling and cluttered. Now, another thing I wanted to discuss is when you're trying to declutter for children, that are having a very hard time, actually children or adults, anyone who are having a very hard time with letting things go, there is a conversation that has to take place before you touch their items. So when I was over here for our Christmas, I had already had a conversation with the girls. The older one was really ready, and she's like, let's just do this. I want to do it today. The younger one loves everything. Everything means something. Everything has a purpose. Everything is amazing. And I love that. That's a wonderful quality to have. But it is very, very hard for her to let things go. So before I even came in here, she and I, earlier in the week, had a very long conversation. I told her the things that I wanted to do, and she told me the things that she felt comfortable with me doing. And so we had to meet in the middle. But ultimately, this is her space. These are her items. And it would not be right of me, even with the best of intentions, to come in here and start throwing her things away. That is very violating, and that would hurt a lot, and that would cause more damage than good. Even if Mama wants to get everything out of here, you have to take your time. You have to remember kids are who they are, and you can't force them in a little bubble of what you expect them to be. You also can't force your ideas of how you want your house to be on your kids. However, if it is destructive and you find that it is really negatively affecting them and making more mess than good, then that is when you've got to come to a compromise and a common ground. Not always easy, but most certainly doable. If you are enjoying this video and it is bringing value to you, would you please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button? I would love to have you join my YouTube family. I am so thankful that you are here, and I look forward to seeing you every single week with cleaning, decluttering, organizing, and decorating videos. Also, we're renovating our 90s house, so I'd love to have you come along with us.
Say you love me, say you don't. Just give me something so I can move.
Some questions that I have gotten whenever I do these videos is, how do I declutter my kids' room? So when it comes to kids or someone who really holds on to things, I really think that you could use this technique with anyone who has trouble letting things go. But for what I did is, when we were here earlier in the week, I explained to them what I was going to do. And they were definitely resistant. The older one was ready to go, but the younger one was very uncertain. So I explained to her the process. And I told her, I'm going to take out trash first. And I explained to her what trash meant. Things that are like crumpled up paper, bottles, wrappers, anything that might have holes and stains in that you can't use anymore. That's what I explained. But I was very clear. I was descriptive with what trash is, and I was very clear that if I wasn't sure that it was immediately trash, I was going to set it aside. I also let her know that if she's not comfortable with throwing something away, but she's not sure if she wants to keep it, we can also put that to the side. I wanted her to feel like she was in control. Now, I do know for adults who may have trouble letting things go, it might be a lot more intensive, but this is what I feel like works for kids. Like I had mentioned before, I don't want to go in there and take all of her stuff away. That's not my purpose. But I also know that not many of us work well in a cluttered space. But you don't know that you don't work well until you change it. Next, I had a sheet of paper that I had found, and her mom immediately put it in the trash. But I saw the older one's face, and she just wasn't sure about that. So I had asked her, do you want to keep this? She wasn't sure, and I explained if it's not an immediate yes, it's most likely a no. She still wasn't comfortable with it. So I asked her what she wanted to do with it, how she felt when she saw it. Again, she just didn't know. She just knew that when it went into the trash, it made an emotion rise in her. So I started to place it in the trash, and I saw her looking at it, and I continued on very slowly with getting rid of more stuff, but I felt like she was still emotionally stuck at that sheet of paper. So I looked at her and I said, okay, I can see on your face that you're not comfortable with that going in the trash. And I'm going to pull it back out. Now tell me what you see. What do you see when you look at it? What do you want to do with it? She really didn't know. And that was okay. It's okay for her not to know. Sometimes we don't know, but we know that it brings out an emotion in us. So I said, you know what? It's not a big deal. If you want to keep this, keep this. And if you decide you want to throw it away later, you can do that as well. It's yours to do what you want with it. And that's what we did. And we set it aside. A lot of times, and to speak for myself, I will do that. And then once I get more into my decluttering, I feel liberated. I feel like the momentum is there. Then I will end up probably getting rid of the stuff that I was like, oh, maybe I'll keep it. I usually will always go back through it and get rid of it. And I think for kids, it's the same thing. But just letting them know that they're in control of the situation and you're not going to throw away anything that they don't want. Decluttering is super emotional. It's a lot deeper than just getting rid of stuff a lot of the times. And we need to be respectful for that, for us and for others. Heading over to the dresser now. So this is a shared dresser for the girls. Now the ages of them right now are 11 and 8. I believe that's right. I always get a little mixed up. And they obviously will, the older clothes will get passed down to the younger. So that's what we have a lot of going on here. And things have they know, a lot of times chaos is controlled chaos. Like we know where our stuff is. Like our drawers can look crazy to everyone else. Our cabinets, our countertops can look wild to everyone else, but it's like controlled chaos. I know that stack of papers over there has everything that I need. I know that drawer or those in the closet. I know in that corner of a pile of clothes, it's stuff that I need. That's kind of how this was here. It just wasn't organized, but they knew what they were doing. So I wanted to make more room for new things coming in because she is growing out, the younger one's growing out of things very quickly. And I wanted it to be easier for the girls to access for school. So one of the things that I learned from one of my best friends ever, Amanda from This Crazy Life. Hey girl, I love you more than anything. She taught me in one of her videos years ago, you take an item like their shorts that fit them currently and then just hold it up to whatever you're going through, kind of hold, band, like a waistband to waistband and length to length. And if it doesn't fit that, then get rid of it. That way it helps you get in there and tackle it before, so your kids don't have to come in there because there are things like toys and those types of things, those are personal. And some items of clothing are too, but if it's a size 3 and you're an 8-year-old girl, it's time to let that one go. So Mama took care of this. Every time a little one came in, she's like, no, out you go. Like this dress here, this is for a 3-year-old. So I was looking at it, I'm like, girl, what is it doing here? But that's a little trick. Got it from Amanda. If I'm not explaining it properly, just hold the item you're thinking about decluttering up to an item that you know fits them now, and if it's smaller than the item you know that fits them now, then it's time to let it go. Okay, who is ready for some story time? Now, I have often said, well, my sister tells me a lot, some of the stories I have to share are just straight up crazy, okay? And one of the stories I told on Instagram is when I was in high school and me and my best friend were going to work, we showed up and the place had burned down. And when we went home to her dad, he said, "Why aren't you girls at work?" And we said, "It burned down." And he's like, "Yeah, you guys are full of, you know." We really weren't. But I can tell you like 1,000 stories that are so crazy. And it's like, is this even really my life? But it's just how it goes. So after Christmas, we got the kids a dune buggy. I've shared it on Instagram. It was a splurge. I got it on Facebook Marketplace because, you know, I'm not buying something like that brand new, which I would have at this point. But the next day, it was broken. Chris fixed it. 2 days later, it's broken again. And now it's officially broken. It doesn't go or do anything. So I was really bummed about that. Well, then when I go and start to upload my footage, I go to get my computer to upload my footage the week after Christmas, my computer won't turn on. And I'm thinking like, this cannot be happening. The computer's only 2 years old and I paid a pretty penny for it because it's for YouTube. It's my job and I needed something reliable. And so it would not turn on. Took it in the next day and come to find out the motherboard blew on it. 2-year-old MacBook Pro. The motherboard blew and I was so sad. And we had nothing else. There's nothing else that I can use. So I ended up having to purchase an iMac so I could just get these videos out. He still currently has my MacBook Pro that has all of the footage of the kitchen renovation and the kitchen declutter and organized. That's why I haven't posted it. I'm not trying to just hold it off. I don't have the footage. He has to get the motherboard working so he can start the computer up so I can get my footage. Okay. So that's all going on right after Christmas. Okay. So Monday, I wake up to take my kids to school. New year, new me, ready to go to the gym. The kids go outside. I've got my water bottle, got all my stuff. I'm telling Chris, like, okay, Emma's still sleeping. I'm going to take the kids to school. I'm going to go to the gym and I'll be back. And so the kids come back in and they're like, "Mom, where's your car?" And I was like, "Don't play." "What?" And so then I thought, well, you know, sometimes we will park it on the side of the house if we're moving stuff. So I'm like, "Go look on the side of the house." And they did. And then Josiah came back in and said, "Mom, your car's not there." And I was like, "What? No, Go outside, look around. This was the 8th. I look around, go all around the house, and realize my car was gone. And panic just flooded my body. I called the police, got them to come out, did everything I had to do. Chris took the kids to school, and that was it. I called Nissan. I thought, you know, I have a Nissan Armada. You know, with today's technology, they should be able to find this thing. And so I went to my app and tried to locate it. It wouldn't locate, and then it said, "You have to pay for this subscription." Mind you, I've had the car for 6 months. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. So I contact Nissan. I'm like, "I want to pay for this subscription. I need to locate my car." So I pay $9.99 to get it up and going. And then I'm like, okay, my car's stolen. So they go and they put in an alert, basically the satellite or whatever sends out a signal to my car, and my car will send it back saying this is the location to help me and the cops find it. They said, "We will let you know. We'll call the cops and then they'll let you know where it's at and then we can go from there." Well, I had called multiple times. They're like, "Nope, there's still no signal." And I'm baffled. Okay, I don't do well with sitting around. Like, I'm fidgety, I'm antsy, I'm restless. I'm like, somebody find my car. Because the reality is, the longer it is not in my possession, the worse it's going to be, the more damaged it's going to be. Somebody find my car. And so continued to call, and they're like, "Nope." And I called late that night. "Nope, still no signal." And I said, "How is this even possible? Does the car have to be on? You know, like, why are you what if this was involved in a serious accident or a serious crime? Like, you should be able to find my car." "Well, sorry, man, it's not the way it works." Yada, yada, yada. So the next morning, like, I'm antsy. The next morning, Chris has to go to work, and Emma has her sitter come over for a little bit, and I'm sick. I'm sick to death of worry and anxiety. I'm like, my little naive brain is like, why is this so hard? I feel like this shouldn't be so hard. Just find my car. Well, even with today's technology, it could not be found. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to sit around here waiting. I just can't. So I drove about 2 hours in my neighborhood, like not my neighborhood, but my town, my entire town. Mind you, I've lived here about 20 something years ago, totally different lifestyle then. So I kind of know where the ins and outs of where I need to go. And that's what I do. And so I'm driving, I cry, I'm like, it's all these emotions, right? Because, you know, I mean, it's my car. Not only is it my car, but I've never had a new car, and it was a huge investment. It was something big. It was more than just a car. It was, you know, something that I could do for myself because I've been working, I've been saving money. It was just more than a car for me. So it's materialistic, and I know that, and lives are way more important, but today, in this moment, this is all I could think about. So I'm driving around, and then I had this I was like, Lord, I just need you to like direct me. Please, like I'm begging, please help me, please. I need someone to help me. I need to find this car. And again, if you've gone through more serious things, you're probably like, that's ridiculous. But this is what I'm going through now, so I'm just relaying the story. And so then I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go home. It's been about 2 hours. I'm not doing this anymore. And so right then, mind you, that morning, Tuesday morning, before I went out to look for my car, I sent out a Facebook community message to all the adjacent communities, all of their, like, you know, you have Facebook communities for those towns. So I sent out a big message, hey, someone stole my brand new car. This is what it looks like. I don't care who it is or who did it. You can be anonymous. Somebody just please help me. I don't care about anything, but just get my car back to me. Again, you can be anonymous. Just bring it back to me. Someone give me a lead. And so, you know, a lot of people commented about the GPS on it, and I explained. Well, then right as I was on my way home, after I felt this feeling like just go home. So I'm on my way home and I get a ding, and I pick up my phone, and it's in like a little holder on my windshield, and I look and it says, I'm 75% sure, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm 75% sure there's a Nissan Armada, and they gave me the roads and everything. And what color is yours? And I get it, and I'm like, white. Like I'm trying to respond as fast as I possibly can. As soon as I respond, she responds, he or she, I don't know who it is, responds with a picture. And I was like, holy moly, the blood left my body. I was like, you've got to be kidding. So I was actually on my way home to go get Chris and talk to him. I turned that car right around and I went right to the location. When I arrived, there was a gentleman already there. I walk up to his car. I'm not thinking, I know, probably not safe. I walk up to his car. He's like, is that your car down there? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think it is. And I start to cry. Then I get into Chris's car and I drive down there like a crazy person. So basically it's under a bridge between two rivers that meet together, freshwater rivers. And it's just the bridge. And so before that happens, you've got a lot of soupy woods and swampy nastiness, right? So I drive down there. I'm starting to get stuck. We're about to be in a massive storm. Schools were closed down. And I go down there like a crazy person. And I get out of my car, I'm like sinking in mud, and I look and I'm like, that's my car. That's my car. So I climb back into Chris's car. I call 911. He had already called the authorities, and then I'm trying to get back up where the road is, but I'm getting stuck. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I going to do? I took it really slow. I know how to drive in the mud. I took it slow. I got back to where we needed to be. Y'all, this is bananas, okay? So then, as the officers are showing up, the gentleman who initially saw it, he's like, oh my gosh, I saw it there yesterday. I knew something wasn't right. I just want to make sure you're okay. You're safe. The officer's here. I'm going to go ahead and go. And I was very appreciative. But then, as I'm sitting there waiting for the officer to pull up, and this man's already leaving, another car comes swinging in. Okay? And then he is starting to go down there where I just were to my car. Mind you, this is at a homeless camp as well. There's nothing but tents and sheets and tarps hanging in the woods right there. Okay, we're talking like 50 feet. Okay, so he comes in, he slams on his brakes, he looks at me, and he like points over in that direction, and I nodded my head, yes, that's mine. He puts his hand up in the air, he puts his car into park, and he gave me this crazy elaborate story about how he saw it there a couple days ago. And I said, well, sir, it just got stolen yesterday. And he said, well, a couple days ago, I go down there and I saw a car and I knew it couldn't be there. It shouldn't have been down there. That's a mighty fine car. And, you know, his lifestyle was very questionable. That's all I'm going to say. And he was adamant to tell me more times than I can count that he was in my car. He touched my checkbook. He touched all my stuff. So just be prepared that they're gonna find his prints everywhere. He said it multiple times. He even said it in front of the officer, and the officer was like, "What?" He and I are looking at each other like, "Okay, we're gonna let this guy finish, and he's gonna drive off." So the officer's like, "I'm gonna go down there," and I'm like, "I'm coming with you." Well, then the gentleman pulls me aside as I'm getting out of my truck, and he's like, "Listen, I can help you get it out. I have the type of vehicle to get your truck out. Nothing else is going to be able to pull it out because I'm going to show you pictures. It was in the mud." She was like nosedive in the mud. And so I was like, "Okay, thank you. You can give me your number." And I had him actually text Chris the number in a message to Chris. So I head on down there and I look, the officer and I are looking at it and I'm like, "Yep, that's 100% mine." He gets back up to come and the storm is coming. So more cops, 2 other officers come down there. I'm like, "My window's down. I need to pull up my window." And so I'm like, "Can I climb on the car?" Because mind you, it's surrounded by water. I'm like, "Can I climb on the car to the hood and pull the window up?" And they're like, "No, you can't do that. We have to prep it. We have to process it. We have to get forensics out here." And so the gentleman, he's like, we gotta verify the VIN to, like a monkey. The guy like jumps on the car, hanging on to it, trying not to get his feet wet, gets the VIN. Then he's like, "All right, there's nothing much you can do. They were very kind to me. Go ahead and go back to your car. We're all going to go back to the car because forensics has to come. And after that, then we're going to release it back to you. You can tow it to where you want. It's up to you." And I'm like, okay. So I sit in my car and I wait and I call the towing company. I let them know what's going on. I mean, perfect timing. They pulled up right as forensics was pulling up. The lady for forensics was amazing. She went down there. She did everything. They dusted. They got DNA. They got all kinds of stuff. Do I think they're going to do anything with it? Probably not. There's bigger fish to fry, and my car was found. You know what I mean? But I appreciated all of it. And so then I was like, okay, well, you can just have the car brought to my house. And so I did. The towing company brought it late that night. Raining. It's raining all up in the car. The car is wet on the inside because of all of the mud and the water in the river. It's not like river, like it's in the river. It's like before that where it's soupy and it's nasty and all those things. So I don't want to misconstrue what I'm saying. And obviously you'll see pictures. And so once it comes, I'm like, that's when I break down. I just lose it. I'm just so emotional. And thankfully Chris found my spare key and I was trying to get it to close the windows and start up and it wouldn't. I'm like, well, they must have just drove it into the mud and just let it run until it's dead. So the next morning I go out there and I'm looking and I cannot get this car to like get any electricity to it. So I open up the hood and come to find out they took my battery. So what had happened was, I think a couple of teenagers were trying to get a joyride out of my car. Yes, the car was parked in my driveway. They were just having a little joyride. They saw that it was probably 4x4 and it would be really fun to put in the mud. But if you don't know how to drive in the mud, you can't do this and do it well. If you know, you know. And so she got stuck because they don't know what they're doing and they ran. And then I believe that the homeless community, the homeless people living back there took my battery, my car seat, my clothes I needed to return, chocolate pretzels, kid books, like Minnie Mouse coloring books, like children's books, sheets, things like that were back there that I was going to donate and then return some stuff, and then Emma's car seat. I felt that was really strange. I thought, why would teenagers take all that stuff? But it wasn't until Wednesday it dawned on me. I'm like, they did it. It was the homeless people. So now at this point, Thursday, where I am filming this voiceover, it is January 11th. I am waiting for the adjuster to come tomorrow morning and tell me if my car is going to be totaled. And I'm praying that it's not. I'm praying that it is not, because I have learned a lot about this whole situation. And I reluctantly did not get gap insurance because I've gotten it on every car and never needed it. And I can kick myself, so please, kind words. I could kick myself. I don't have gap insurance, but I put such a large amount of money down on this car to make the monthlies affordable that I thought I would have positive I thought I would have equity in the car. I felt like it's not that big of a deal. Absolutely not. So right now, as it stands, if they total out my car, I'm in big trouble. And I'm saying it flippantly now, but last night I had a full panic attack. So I'm telling you this story, and like I said on Instagram, obviously that's what's going on with my life. Story time with Lynn. It is crazy, but don't get too comfortable. The adjuster made it very clear. He's like, I wish I could tell everyone, don't get comfortable. Gated communities are a false sense of security. Usually thieves will target those areas. Do not leave anything of value in your car. Whatever you leave in your car, just imagine that it's going to be stolen, and if you don't care, then leave it. Your phone, your purse, your keys, obviously. Any clothing, any AirPods, anything that you don't want someone else to take, you better take it out of your car, because you just never know. And he's like, I see this every day, all day. To you, you're perfect. He's like, your little world, this is crazy to you, but I see it every single day. This is normal to me. And so I'm telling you this story because A, that's what's been going on with my life. B, I want you to stay vigilant, and I want you to stay aware of your surroundings. And I don't want you to be in the same situation I'm in, because there is a very good chance that I am going to have to pay huge for someone else's carelessness and someone else's just horrible acts. And I hate that. And it feels so unfair. I know life isn't fair, but it just feels really heavy, really heavy. And right now I can talk about it because I have to literally remove myself from the situation as I do this quote unquote job and try to get this out. But if I am not focused on something else, I'm crying. It's devastating, to say the least. Now, it's not a person's life, and my family's healthy, and at the end of the day, that is utmost importance. But this still could be absolutely tragic to our family, and I don't want you to be in the same situation. So if you get a car, get GAP insurance. Get GAP insurance. And don't ever leave your keys in the car. If you live in a gated community, still lock your car. And don't leave anything in there that could get stolen. I didn't tell you, but they not only took my car, but they ransacked all of the other vehicles. They took my purse, my wallet, my keys, everything that meant anything to me, anything that was in my wallet, had all my identification. They took all of Chris's stuff. And I feel violated. I feel angry. And I just feel super unsettled and nervous. So, if you can think about it, I just send your good vibes, your prayers, your love, your encouragement, because it is scary. But it's a life lesson that I have learned. It slapped me right across the face. And if I can give you any advice, I want you to also learn from my mistake. Don't let your guard down. Lock your doors. Because of inflation and because of where we're at right now, felonies and car theft are more rampant now than they've ever been, and that's what they told me. So just be careful.
So are we. So close your eyes and set it free. Underneath the strobe lights, ready for a crazy night. I can hear your heartbeat banging loud like a drum. Let me be your only one. Do you feel what I feel? I'm addicted to the sound. Turn it loud, just make it play. When the love
That's a little box I made her so many years ago with my Cricut maker. You get the box from Michael's, put a little label on it. I call them board boxes. I fill them up with things the kids might want to do when they're bored. Take them in the car, a restaurant, on vacation, and it keeps everything like in there. I love those so much. Next, I'm going to go under the bed. That was a huge area where the kids were just pushing things, and I'm going to clear out everything under there. This was quite interesting. We got a lot of laughs out of going under there.
It's time!
Can't do this anymore. I've saved it for way too long.
Maybe, this is what I tell myself, maybe God's keeping me in the season because He's got something for me to learn and I haven't gotten it yet.
Fit anymore? Oh crap.
Oh, we have that.
Huh?
Oh, boy. Oh.
I need to take a picture of you under there. Girl.
Is.
This is crazy. Okay, hold on. You can just take a little. I think this is. What did I do with that doll?
Which one?
The one, the fake American Girl doll, that's her shoe. Woo! Oh, here's her other shoe. Open it.
Say you don't. Just give me something so I can move on. Pull me closer or push me away. Let me know if we'll be okay. 'Cause I can't stand another moment of you playing with my mind. I'm so tired of never knowing, so spell it out. 'Cause I won't stay awake till morning. I won't stay another night. If you're feeling something for me, say it now. 'Cause I can't wait for you forever.
We are now tackling the closet. We were so tired and so worn out. We were like, we cannot do the closet. But once I'm in that state, I'm like, girl, I'm not leaving here until that closet's done. So quickly, like just super fast, we're just boom, going bam, 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 bam. And that's what I did. Cleaned out the closet, made space for the floor. You saw that it was full of toys. I've never seen so many squashmallows in my life. But I honestly think it's so cute when kids hold on to things. I think it's just precious to me. But in the same sense, it's kind of hard to value everything you have if you have too much. So we're going to get rid of all of the clothes that don't fit. I'm going to go on the top. I'm going to fold everything and get rid of anything that we can and just make this space more functional for the long run. I hope that with this video, I know there was a lot of talking, but I hope I gave you some really practical tips on how to tackle a space for yourself, for your kids, or a family member. I also hope with this video it encourages you to get started as well, whether it's a closet, a drawer, a room, it doesn't matter. Just get started. You'll feel so proud of yourself. I'm also going to show you the 7 garbage bags that we got from all of this, plus all of the stuff that was in the trunk of my car. It's gone now, but it was in the trunk of my car. It was insane, but I felt so good doing this, and I felt so proud of ourselves.
If you're feeling something for me, say it now.
One common misconception is you need to buy pretty organizers and bins and totes and baskets to have a clean and organized space, and that is absolutely not true. Yes, it does help. It makes it more aesthetically pleasing, but the first thing you need to do to have a clean and organized space is just declutter. That is the main thing before you go out and buy anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you got a lot of practical tips, enjoyed my story time, and most of all, I hope it was inspirational and motivational to you guys. We got rid of 7 large bags plus filled the trunk of the car full. Thank you all so much for being here. Your time is so valuable, and I'm just really grateful. You are worthy, you are loved. Please make this world a better place. You have the ability to do that. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.